Welcome back to Macsville as we're just walking down the river walk that we built in the last episode. I still really need to do something about those water pumps, but never mind. I love it. I love to see so many people walking along here, but we got stuff to do, so let's get started. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 7. As you can see, it's a rainy day in Macsville, which is a shame, but we've got a lot to accomplish anyway. And as I'm away next week, I'm hoping to get this recorded and out to you whilst I'm away on holiday. So, fingers crossed. I am recording this back to back with the last episode, which means any comments or anything like that that I missed, I'm really sorry about. Super excited that we managed to finish the river walk, though. That was really epic. There's a lot of work still to do, and there's a lot of detailing and stuff, so I will be looking at booking in a live stream on YouTube or on Twitch to be able to do that with hopefully some of you guys as well. Just quickly having a wander around the city here. I'm just absolutely in love with this at the moment, other than the weather, obviously, which is making all of our people look like very shiny models. But I think the whole area is starting to come together really nicely. So today we got 2 goals. One, buy a new tile and look at which one we're going to take and why we're going to take it. And number 2 is going to be to build a university campus. That's right. We need to get started on the university campus. It is something that we need, as we have got now some jobs that are starting to come up saying, oh, looking for some highly educated people. Just to let you know as well, as I was finishing up the last episode, our park, just to let you know, as I was finishing off the last episode, our park and owl reserve has now become a 4-star park. So we do have some work to do there to get that level of entertainment up so that we can continue to grow that. And I believe as well in the last episode, whilst we were doing stuff and things as usual, we actually had our agricultural area zone up as well. We can now see here as well, we've got all our own production, no more imports. I'm really happy about that. It's going to mean that we're generating a decent amount of profit, but also hopefully creating the goods that we need to keep supporting our new district, which is our pedestrianised area, which is here. Which, as you can see here, we're getting like some complaints about highly educated workers. Here we need some highly educated workers, just workers in general, I think, as well is kind of needed. We've got a ton of demand for absolutely everything as well right now. So that's something that we should really look at. And I put one of these down, which was this cargo area. And I can see here that it's saying high cargo traffic. So I am considering putting another one of these at the other end to see what happens and to see if that helps to alleviate a little bit of the pressure here. So I'm just going to see how we can get away with... I don't think we need to actually connect these anymore to the power grid because they are now connected. Excellent. So I'm just going to see what that ends up doing and hopefully see that it's... Oh, no, wait, I put the wrong one in. So I'm going to put the large cargo, not large, sorry, small cargo area, and just see if that helps to service this currently. And I'm hoping it will, because we are having some issues with the amount of deliveries, and this one was saying that there was too many deliveries. And in our little park area, I've just noticed this as well. How are pretend cars spawning over here? And we've got crime. How interesting. So, do we have the historical police station? It's definitely bigger than I was hoping it would be, but I think it's going to have to do. What I'm worried about, though, is it's not going to have any electric. None of this has any electric, actually. We've got no water on the islands, which is also going to be a problem. So I think, unfortunately, there's no real 2 ways about it. I'm just going to need to get this done. Okay, so that solves the issue of water, but power is still going to be an issue as well. So to be able to police this, I think I'm going to have to do this, which I really don't want to. It does look like the crime sign's gone down, though. Police cars in use. This is so funny because there isn't actually a way to get anywhere, which I find quite amusing. So I think I'm going to turn off parking, which will just make the cars disappear, hopefully. Oh, because these are roads, this is still going to cause a problem, isn't it? We'll see if that goes away. I don't think that's going to go away from the park area. But we do have the ability to connect this if we wanted to a main road across here. That would be something we'd be able to do. And I think as well, if we were going to do it with a bus route, that would be a really good way of doing it. I'm getting distracted. We weren't planning on doing anything else other than, first things first, buying another tile, which I think is going to be pretty important. And I'm not sure how many we can buy, but the obvious first part is going to be as we go sort of further across the river, we're going to need that one. And I think that's going to be a definite need. But currently I'm looking at the next sort of 3 in this corner. And again, I'm not sure how many we can actually purchase. So I'm going to start with 1. We can then get this second one, 2, and I think we can get a third one. So that basically gives us this 4. So it has limited us slightly in terms of the growth on the other side of the river, but it does mean that we can continue building our city downwards, and also we can build out our agricultural area as well, and potentially even maybe some mining and stuff like that on this top side. I also want to get down to the shore eventually. I think that'll be really nice to do as well. And there's more here in terms of ruins as well, I believe. I've done it again, and I've had that music on, and I apologize because I know that that's really loud. When I do the edits afterwards, I realize just how loud. We've got our main highway here as well, which the idea is to get that to keep looping down and maybe sort of cross the river somewhere near where the train does as well. But this is quite nice because we do have trains and everything here, which means we can pull off a line to service our agricultural area as well. And if we wanted to, I believe, look at this, we actually even start to have a little bit of oil over there, which could be interesting. We do have some oil just down here by the coast, but more importantly, we've got iron, just ore, if we wanted to do anything with that as well. And in fact, even in the mountains, we can see there's a bit of ore, and also we've got forestry areas, etc. So we can really start opening up in terms of our industries if we wanted to as well. This is going to really bug me. I'm going to have to just deal with it. I'm sorry, everybody. Okay, so that solves that problem. I think we're still having the issue, or we're going to still have the issue of that dead person never being picked up. Look at this. Wow. So I did put these couple of car parks in just sneakily at the end of the last episode, and you can see that it is genuinely like they're just full up. And this road to get to the park seems to be really like, I mean, that's crazy. Maybe having the entrance and the main parts or the access points to the pedestrian area and the parks in the same place isn't the right idea. Spent way too much time looking at these things rather than focusing on what we were actually going to do next. Maybe our next part is just down here. Okay, bear with me. What I'm going to do, I've got an idea. I'm going to sink the train line a little bit so that we can have road access that goes over. And then we're going to use this area here, I believe, to build out our campus, and also figure out another connection onto this side, which will be useful as we go forward. And I think that's the way we're going to tackle this. So I'll be right back.
Many hours later.
Okay, after what I can only describe as what felt like an eternity in hell dealing with the awfully annoying up-down terrain leveler sloping tool, which you can see I haven't quite got right in a couple of little parts here, but we now have a countersunk train line, which means our main 4-lane road can come straight through, and this is what we were really after, is being able to continue this road so that we can build out here and continue to grow the city. That took way longer than I would have liked. Anyways, so as we're going to have this section here, we're not necessarily going to have this river run road that carries on all the way down, because obviously it carries this way now and it doesn't cross. Rather than looking at what we're going to do along there for now, I think what we're going to have is a slight bend in the main road, and I think we're going to go with, and then I think we're going to go straight again, and I'm just going to double check again where we're looking at. Here we go. So there we've got a bit of a change in topography, and as we know from Phil, we always check our topography. We don't always, but you know, we're going to try this time. In this networking tool, we can actually just double check 4.9, 4.9, 4.9. Okay, so we'll have to do something to disguise that a little bit, but at least this will give us that continuation. And again, eventually we've got a road that needs to go across the river, and we've also got our highways that are going to come down. So eventually all of these roads will kind of meet and cross, and I think here again this one will meet with the highway and have its own junction, so that'll give another set of connections, and then this one might even be able to do the same again. Okay, so the whole point of today's episode, jeez, we will get there eventually, was to actually look at how we could build out a campus. We need to create a campus area, and I think what we're going to actually try and do, we're going to try and have our campus area, and I think it could be a really pretty campus, if I'm honest with you. I think our campus area could be all along here. And I think this will give us just a really nice, huge amount of space, number one, but also it will give us the ability to really sort of spread this out, have a bit of room to make sure that we continue to build a nice campus that will do what it needs to do. Right, well, there we go. That solves that problem. So all I've done is literally just moved slightly further down. It makes the sort of extra road piece that I wanted there is like the entrance to be so much easier and connected so much more simply. And it means that we can continue to build out everything else that we need for this as we keep going up and down. So I think that's the only building off the top of my head that really needs that connectivity in that way. So it means that everything else that we now build, in theory, if I'm not mistaken, can literally just come off from these paths. But let's go. So we've got a trade school dormitory. Yeah, there we go. So see, now everything just connects simply to that, which I think is great. We're going to throw down some additional paths going this way. And we will make this prettier, I promise. So here we go. Now we've got an area that kind of makes more sense, I think. And what I'm actually going to do is bring our dormitories all the way up here, because I think these would just be amazing places to be staying. And then what else do we have? We have the trade school study hall closer to the dormitories. And I'm wondering as well, should we not have 2 dormitories? I think we should have 2 dormitories. So we're just going to put them there by the corner of the road. Book club. Of course we need book club. Book club sounds fantastic. Again, to me, it sounds like stuff that would be closer to the dormitories rather than anything else. I'm also going to just see if... So the reason I was just doing that in the first place was because I thought to myself, can we get a nice path that goes along there? That was my first thought process. And then the second thought process was actually here, we're not taking advantage of all the space that we've got kind of along here, which I think is just criminal, right? If you had this kind of waterfront area, you would definitely take advantage and have that walking sort of path along there, I think. Okay, so we've built everything except for the book club, and now that we have this little extra pathway, we can actually connect that in there. And I'm just thinking whether or not... Okay, so we've kind of managed to get this all connected now, finally. Going to throw down some water, and then I'm going to figure out how we jump the electric across here. And admittedly, this is a trade school because we can't have a university yet, but that's fine. This will still start working, and I think it will start giving people quite quickly a chance. But it looks like it's already making money as well, which is crazy. And then we can start doing the academic works, etc. And we can also then get some varsity sports up and running. And there's going to be lots of stuff that we'll be able to do with this. And then the last piece that we're missing is just going to have to be to jump the electric from here to here for now. So we now have a university, well, a trade school, the Aspen Trade School. And we're going to need a name for that as well. This will grow, and as it grows, we get more options and more buildings to be able to add to it, so as it levels up. So I don't know if we're going to specialize in anything in particular quite yet. We do have varsity sports, though, which is always fun. So we've got a basketball arena or an aquatic center. Maybe not. It's huge. No, so I'm thinking about this, and I do want to try and include this somehow into the university area. Okay, so the basketball arena is just absolutely huge as an asset. Um, that is crazy. So I was trying to figure out a nice way of doing this, and it does make it challenging, shall we say nicely, just purely because it's such a big asset. Yeah, that makes more sense to me. I think it's going to go something like that. This road probably won't be there like that. What we do have, which is quite useful. Anyway, so I managed to find these now, which remarkably annoyingly. So I think what I was trying to do here was to say there would be a ton of car parks, right? This is going to be like a super busy area. People are going to arrive here to watch the game, etc. And I think that's going to just require a ton of parking. Okay, so that's going to connect the power up, in theory. And it means that when these guys... Oh, cancelled. Oh, no. Whoops. I kind of like the idea of making a few of these other roads sort of pedestrianized, maybe. So if we had like some little pedestrianized areas, what we would actually end up with is possibly just a nice little shopping sort of district, which could be quite cool. Again, this would end up being sort of near the university or the trade school. It would offer potentially a little bit of a distraction. There might be some nice restaurants, etc. nearby. I just think this sort of area would be quite good for having some extra shopping, etc. Think at the back of the stadium as well. We're going to see if just using the brush to just throw down some additional trees in the background there as well. Because this is part of the university, well, the trade school, I do think that we could have a line of trees either side that could look quite nice. So let's have a look. Maybe something like this. Yeah, just sort of something that would I think would break it up a little bit. But again, I think we'll go into that in a detailing episode as well. Here, I think everything is not in a pedestrian area, which is gonna cause some issues. Could have made the whole thing a pedestrian area, really, couldn't we? But I didn't think about that until it was too late. So for now, we're just gonna have this section as a pedestrian area. And obviously, by it being a pedestrian area, what it also needs is a small pedestrian area service point. Gonna go there. And I think a small cargo service point. That's not quite so small. So we might have to have an extra access point to that. But again, this gives us some shops. They're not the nicest or prettiest looking shops. In fact, they're really not nice looking shops. So I think we're going to hit that and hopefully those will rebuild themselves and come back looking slightly nicer. And I was kind of hoping that whilst we were still filming this, we would get to the next level, but I've just realized we're not actually at the campus attractiveness level yet. And I believe by doing the additional buildings, you actually keep leveling up the attractiveness. Let's just double check and see if I'm right with what I'm thinking. Book clubs increase campus attractiveness. Everything increases campus attractiveness, basically. So what I'm going to start with is just some additional dormitories, again facing the river and stuff. I think would just look nice, and see how that helps us with the campus attractiveness. There we go. Okay, so now we should be able to get to that next level. We just need a few more students, which is annoying because when we looked at it, we actually were nearly there. Let's see if we can create something. Oh, IT and engineering, that sounds interesting. Let's give them a grant for that as well. So hopefully if we get that academic paper, the campus attractiveness is going up. Hopefully that'll work. Let's see if we hopefully get another game. I mean, there was one that was cancelled. That might have been my fault. I say might have been. Also, Macsville, we're going to need a team name of some sort. We've got the Macsville Spartans. Can we not change that name? Okay, well, let me know if you've got any ideas for names. Oh, wait. I think I may have done a boo-boo. So now is that part of the school? Yes, it is. And suddenly this has become the Aspen Trade School Buccaneers. That went quickly and changed. Okay, so that's fine. This will be slightly different. We will come up with a better name for this as well. But at least now we have a university, which was the key point that we were trying to do. I'm sure there's tons of other stuff that we need to actually now go back and fix. Like, for example, the fact that we have a massive lack of high school availability. And also a massive lack of capacity for a university as well, apparently. So whilst we're here, we will do the high school. Yeah, so I think we're going to have our high capacity high school down here, which hopefully will mean, yes, look at that, huge amount of capacity now, which is great. And the university thing is going to be a real tricky one. So we're going to have a look at that. Wow, we've got a lot of death. Why is there not any death care? I mean, I'm happy to throw down another cemetery. Can never remember how big the cemetery actually is. Oh, perfect. And I don't think we have anything else that would help us in terms of the cemetery currently. There's no other buildings that we can open up, and we haven't got yet to the crematoriums, which is a real problem, but still not the ideal connection, but that'll do. We've got an additional cemetery, which is important. I'm really not sure. Why is this so... Is it because we've got traffic issues? I mean, no, it looks like there isn't really any standstill. This is causing some issues, but that's, I think, because of that. Everyone loves that area, but look at all this. There's just too many. I don't know why. So I think I might throw down another one until we get crematoriums. There's not really much else. We've got 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's see if we can sneak one more in here and see if that helps. And then we will take a look at the next time. I'm not sure what else we can do. Hopefully that'll help. But before we call this an episode, I'm just going to have a quick look at how we're doing. Need more students. Currently, we need an academic work to happen. And I think we're going to just increase the staff a bit as well. So hopefully in the next episode, we'll be able to see the trade school upgrade, get this highway built out, upgrade the Butler agricultural area, which we still need a name for, and finally work on the Owl Reserve, and that should be everything that we have on our list of things to do. If you've enjoyed the episode, thank you so much for watching. Please do leave a like or a comment down below on what you've liked or what you haven't liked, and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. Thanks again for watching.